Welcome to another How to Grind video, and today's topic is one that I've had multiple requests on, and that's how to write a drill track. First I thought, what, this is how to grime. I don't make top videos on drill, right? But after going back and listening to some drill beats, spitting over drill beats, I realized, and you're going to realize later in this video, that most of the rules for spitting bars over a drill beat are the same for spitting bars over a grind beat. So most of the techniques you use to spit bars on grind beats you can apply to a drill beat and still sound fire. So I thought I'm going to share some of these techniques in this video if this is a topic you're interested in, and hopefully it'll be able to help you out. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight to that. Okay, let's talk about finding the topic, right? So most drill bars obviously consist of trapping, drilling, growing up in rough neighborhoods, etc. You can get inspiration from bars like these if you want to stick to the drill theme, or you can write about your own personal passions, your own personal hobbies. You can do some storytelling, write about basically what you want. I'll link a video up here that will tell you everything you need to know about finding topics, about mind mapping, stuff like that. That'll help you get your creative juices flowing before you get to writing. Now, some other things that you're gonna need in this video are gonna be obviously a notepad or something to write on. I recommend you use a beat because this makes it easier to measure 16 bars, right? A good way to do this also to measure 16 bars is just write 1 to 16 on a piece of paper. If you're using paper, I'll show you an example of that. And also yeah, that's all you're gonna need actually. So let's get to writing. Okay, to make it a lot easier, like let's say this is your first verse you've ever written, or you're new to writing verses, you're beginning to this, we're going to stick to a simple rhyme scheme where you're just rhyming the word at the end of the bar. So for example's sake, it might be something like, I set goals on a pussy ho's dream, don't get gash, you're not gully, you're mean, fuck being weak, a snake or a leech, I'd much rather rip out my spleen. So there at the end rhymes are dream, mean, leech and spleen, right? So it's pretty simple rhyme scheme, and that's the type of rhyme scheme we're going to stick to. Right, a good way to keep the creative juices flowing once you begin writing and to not go off topic and to keep on topic is to split your 16 bar into 4 sections, right? And each section is going to contain 4 bars, right? And you can split it like so: bar 1 to 4 introduction, bar 4 to 8 main topic, bar 8 to 12 climax of the main topic, and bar 12 to 16 conclusion. Right, I'm not going to do that because I find that very restricting for myself. What I am going to do is though have 4 subtopics to turn to on the side, so that if I get stuck I can always turn to those subtopics. And those subtopics are going to be: explain what the 16 bar is about and how the topic makes you feel, explain how the topic you've chosen affects others, and in my case it's other MCs because of the topic I've chosen, and explain what you do about the response of the others involved. Right, the reason why I like to do this is because I'm not splitting this up into 4 bar sections. No, like for example, explain what the 16 is about and how the topic makes you feel. I could take up 6 to 8 bars for that, or even just 3 bars or 2 bars. There's not a specific amount of bars that I have to do this for. That's why I chose to do it this way. And with all that being said, we've got everything we need to do to get writing. So with that, let's get writing. Let's go. Bang, let's go. So section 1 for me is explain what the 16 bar is about. So for you, that might be introduction. So I want you to just write 4 bars or however many bars you want, explaining what the 16 bar. It can be 2 bars, 3 bars, 4 bars. It's up to you. So let's do that now. Alright, now that that's done, let me play you an example 4 bars of this first section, explaining what the 16 bar is about.
Let me spit some bars cause that's my thing. When I pick up the pen and begin writing, I'm enchanting the flames. It's adrenaline feels like pure lightning that runs in my veins.
Right, from that you can glean exactly what my 16 is about. Now it makes me feel, writing bars is what it's about. It makes me feels like adrenaline running through my veins. Now the second subsection, explain how the topic you've chosen affects others, right? So that'll be the next subsection. Let's get into that. Let's write that. Let's go.
in the scene. In the scene, I'm coming at vein, breaking bats and leaving them lean. These man tried defeating my name, but remain disabled. Twats that are weak in a brain.
So for that section, I've got breaking backs and leaving them lame. These man tried defeating my name but remain disabled. Twats that are weak in the brain. So that's what I mean by explaining how the topic you've chosen affects others. Topic I've chosen is writing bars, and that's the passion. So if any of the MCs tried to stop this, I'll be breaking backs and leaving them lame because I'm coming at Bane. You know what I mean? So hopefully you've done that. Hopefully you've done your second section. And now let's move on to the next section. And one more thing I want to mention before we move on to the next section. If you notice, I'm keeping my bars to a certain number of syllables. I'm keeping them nice and short. Like I said, the rules for drill, writing a drill track are pretty much similar to the rules for writing a grime track, in the sense that the BPM for the instrumental is very similar. So it's very fast beats. So you want to keep your bars short so that you can have a tighter flow and keep within this fast beat. So let's move on to the next subsection, which will be explain what you do about the response of others involved. That's for me. Let's go. Right, so for that section, I've got I'm a demon deranged, I might switch. If you try that shit, you'll be grieving again. I'm inflicting them pain, then I flee to my home. Explains what I'll do about the response. Perfectly easy, and it keeps the 16 bar going. So hopefully you got something for that little section. And now we're coming on to the last section. We're coming on to the final part. But before we do this last section, let me play you a quick example of what I've got full on so far, and I want you to go over what you've got so far, recite that a bit before you write this last section. So let's do that.
Let me spit some bars, cause that's my thing. When I pick up the pen and begin writing, I'm enchanting the flames. It's adrenaline, feels like pure lightning that runs in my veins. I'm young in the scene, I'm coming at vein, breaking bats and leaving them lean. These man tried defeating my name but remain disabled. Twats that are weak in the brain, I'm a demon deranged. I might switch if I try that shit, you'll be grieving again. I'm afflicting them pain, then I flee to my home.
Right, the last section is obviously going to be the conclusion. Conclude the 16 bars strongly. Right, one thing that I like to do this, to make sure that it's a strong finish, the 16 bar, is obviously punchlines, right? Just lace the last 4 bars or whatever, how many more bars you got with punchlines, right? To finish with a punchline. So as you're about to see, I'm going to make sure I end on the 16th bar of a really good punchline, or the best you can do. So just try that. Conclude your story, wrap it up. And a really good way to wrap it up, wrap the 16 up, is make sure the finishing bar is a good punchline, or good enough, you know, something that you're happy with, something that the listeners will be happy with. So let's do that right now. Let's finish off the 16 bar strongly, and I'll see you on the other side. Hopefully you've got a conclusion that you're very happy with. I know I'm happy with mine. Now right now I'm going to play you the whole 16 altogether with the conclusion, so that you get a rough idea of what it sounds like, a good example 16. So let me do that right now.
Let me spit some bars, cause that's my thing. When I pick up the pen and begin writing, I'm enchanting the flames. It's adrenaline, feels like pure lightning that runs in my veins. I'm young in the scene, I'm coming at vein, breaking bats and leaving them lean. These man tried defeating my name but remain disabled. Twats that are weak in the brain, I'm a demon deranged. I might switch if I try that shit, you'll be grieving again. I'm afflicting them pain, then I flee to my home. Now I've got cannabis deep in my dome. Don't say shit, just leave me alone. I am the original one, you my man are clearly a clone.
Okay, I hope you're happy with the verse. And before we go, I just want to talk about the flow. One more tip to help you improve your flow for this verse that you've written. Get a metronome app. That's the first thing I'm going to tell you. Get a metronome app, put on that metronome app, and start spitting these bars that you've written here. at a slower tempo, maybe 50, 60, 70 BPM, something that's easy for you to start with, something that you can actually spit it to on time and on rhythm. And then once you get better at this slower tempo, increase the tempo, right, on the metronome up all the way up to the correct BPM for the drill beat that you've chosen, or whatever style beat you've chosen for this video, until you can spit those bars to that beat, to that BPM, right? Practice slow, start at slower tempo. If you don't want to use the metronome up, just simply start on the slower beat, start on the slower tempo beat, and then work yourself up to these faster tempo beats, and that will tighten up your flow, that will make it clean, that will make it crisp. So that's one more tip: start on the slower BPM and work your way up to a higher BPM and a faster BPM. Hopefully that helps you, and hopefully you've got a 16 that you're happy with. If you found these techniques in the video helpful, then share it to someone else who you think will find it of value, and also like it if you found it of value. And if you're subscribed to the channel, before I go, I want to say a big thank you again, a big old tattoo, a big up you, because again, How to Grime would not be a thing without you. So cheers for your support, much appreciated. And yeah, that brings us to the end of the video. Hope you found it of value, like I said. And again, get that metronome up, start on a lower BPM with the bars that you've just written in this video until you work up to the right BPM for the beat that you use, and you can spit them to that beat perfectly, right? And with all that being said, I will see you in the next video.